Bihari, Jayo Radha Madhava, Jayo Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Nittai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. Nittai Gaura Sitanata Premanande, Hari 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 Bol. Hari Bol. Welcome on and all to this session on Isopanisad Mantra 2. So we saw that we have to go step by step. Yesterday's Guru Maharaj class was in spiritual life. If somebody is trying to run very fast and they try to achieve that desire for so much achievement, then there is a possibility of falling. And if somebody is telling, okay, let's go slowly, then there is a possibility of laziness. But one should go step by step. This is what Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling, and Guru Maharaj also said, step by step, very sweetly, as usual. So Guru Maharaj ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Having that inspiration, we'll start today's session. So already the translation, I think you must be knowing the translation, what it is. Yeah, before that, let me just check
Hare
out.
Krishna.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
So we have two new devotees joining today, Rajkumar Prabhu and Anamika Mataji.
Hari Bol, welcome. Let us all chant one time Hare Krishna for them.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Welcome, Prabhuji. Okay. There will be those new joinees. Anybody would like to join any of their friends, just to speak with me for just giving a basic detail about them. They must be devotees chanting 16 rounds, or at least planning to chant 16 rounds within the 6 months or something, 2-3 months. And we prefer Prabhupada Ashraya, Guru Ashraya, or initiation. Or those who are aspiring and very quickly within a year or so they are going to take, they can also join, because that is for the certification purpose. Okay. And as far as knowledge is concerned, it's open. There is no restriction on that. But not that everybody will come, I'm a listener. We are not interested in that. Unless you have already done Bhakti Shastri. If you have not done Bhakti Shastri, this will be your Bhakti Shastri course. And if you already have a certificate, but still you're not very comfortable, we'll have an interview with you. And if you're not too good, then you can join. If you're good, then you need not. So that's the simple thing. And in this is a proper Bhakti Shastri course. It's like an education course. And the recap for this new joinees will be in the weekend. Okay. So the new joinees, there will be a quick recap on whatever we did, maybe in this till mantra 1 or mantra 2, till whatever we have new joinees. So if you have anybody in mind, please put them now. And if you have gone little further, then we cannot really take it. I'm really sorry. So all of you think, if you would like to bring someone in, then within this 2-3 days, 1 week, you make arrangement so that it's not too late. Okay, thank you. So let's go to the mantra 2. We are not going to read the full purport, but just going to see an overview on what is there in that. So why this is not showing up? So this is not a memory verse. In Isopanisad book, only 2 memory verses. One is the invocation prayer, and another one is the mantra 1. So this is not the memory verse. So there is nothing mandatory in this, but for the purity purpose, we'll chant once and we'll just go through the translation. Okay. Already you know the translation of the first verse, which says that who's the proprietor of everything? Maybe my uncle. Or maybe Ambani. Family. No. Maybe Tata. No. Maybe Bill Gates. No. Who's the proprietor of everything in the everything which is ever existing, moving, unmoving? Who's that? Who's that one person who owns everything? One owner for everything. Krishna, our hero, right? We are worshipping him in this Kartik month and supreme absolute truth, and he is the proprietor of everything. So knowing this, and people should know that we are getting our quota from Krishna. Krishna is supplying our quota, and for everybody he has supplied the quota. We should not cross the boundaries. This is what two boundaries. One boundary is crossing boundary of another person, and another is crossing the boundary that Krishna, the ownership is forgotten. That is the greatest danger. The greatest danger is that forgetting Krishna is the proprietor of everything. Okay, coming back to that, having that in mind, now let us go to the second verse. Kurvan evaha karmani. Anybody? You can repeat after me.
Kurvan eva
Kurvan eva
karmani.
karmani.
Vijiveshaschetasam sama. Chetam sama.
Jijive chetam sama.
Evam tvai nanyate sosti.
Evam tvai nanyate tosti.
Na karma lipyate nara.
Na karma
Karma
lipyate nara.
lipyate nare.
Okay, we'll go to the translation. Somebody can read the translation.
One may aspire to live for hundreds of years if he continuously goes on working in that way. For that sort of work will not bind him to the law of karma. There is no alternative to this way for man.
Okay, so one may aspire to live for hundreds of years if he continuously goes on working in that way. In which way? We already had a detailed discussion on Ishavashyam Idam Sarvam. Knowing very, very well that Krishna is the supreme proprietor, and anything material, spiritual, everything what you see, including your own body and mind and intelligence, and we as a spirit soul, marginal energy and external energy. So there was a sloka which was quoted, two slokas were quoted from Bhagavad Gita, 7.4 and 7.5. So that was even we had in the discussion, Om Rai Prabhu also quoted that the verses. He went and looked through that and came back. No, so one is matter. The material world. In this world, there are two kinds of beings. Krishna is telling two kind. Of course, we can practically see, and even in our schools, we studied very, very simple lesson: living things, non-living things. This, I think, science is starting in second standard, third standard, or something. Whenever we start with the basic science education, the first lesson will be like water, what is that, liquid, solid, gas, like this, and then it will be like living thing, non-living thing. That will be one lesson. So living thing is the one which has life, non-living thing which is like matter. So Krishna is telling same thing in this material world. We are seeing two things. One is the non-living thing. Another is a living thing, which is living inside a non-living thing. Means this body is matter. The body is made up of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. And within this body, a living soul is living. The soul, the spirit soul. And both of them belongs to Krishna. Krishna is the owner. It's not everything in this world belongs to Krishna. If I put maska masala to Krishna, I'll get everything. Excuse me, you are also Krishna's. Did you understand that? You cannot have your own life because you belong to Krishna. Krishna is the owner. And the owner If he wants to give you life, he gave you a life. And if he wants you to die, then you'll die. Everybody is born to die. And it's not in your hand. Nobody wants to die. So that is what we are going to see here. That actually we are spirit soul. We are not the matter. And we don't have death. As a spirit soul, we don't have death. But when we consider ourselves as a matter, this body, then we have death. That's all very simple. So that in today's class, in today's overview, we will be seeing one may aspire to live for hundreds of years, having in conscious that Krishna is the proprietor of everything, and I have been given a quota by Krishna, and I will not cross beyond my quota. Everything else is Krishna's. Don't think it is another man's. That is Krishna's only. And still we cannot represent, I'm representing Krishna, so I'll snatch away another person's property. That is also not right. Because Krishna will allot the quota. So this is like a government, like communist government, which will decide, okay, whom should have how much. So that is decided by the Supreme Lord, nobody else. Not we cannot decide, okay, they can have this much and you can have this much and you can, so take over the position of God and perform like God. No. So this is, so having this in mind that everything belongs to Krishna and he has kindly provided me a particular quota. In that way, if one may aspire to live for 100 years continuously, go on working in that way. What will happen? Okay, I'm living many, many years in that consciousness. What is going to happen to me? What is the benefit? So for what? For that sort of work will not bind him in the law of karma. So there is something called law of karma, which is binding a person. Like binding, we know if somebody is tying another person, then it's called binding, right? So this binding, karma binds. Karma means action. When a person is performing an action, he is bound by the results. So only when he is conscious that Krishna is the supreme proprietor, and kindly he has allotted some quota for a temporary duration for me, then he can keep on living without and having that in mind and using that items with the recognition of the Supreme Lord. So what did we see in the purport also? Prabhupada is telling that, okay, having simply that in the mind, some people say that, Sarvam Krishnarpanam, Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. With that only I'm karma yoga. I'm living like that. Just, okay, everything is Krishna's, but still I'm living like an animal. I'm a sadhu. I'm not involved in anything related to devotion, but I'm just living my life, whichever quota I'm playing within the quota. Still, you're a robber. This is what we saw, that still you're a thief. You're not giving recognition to the person who supplied you that. So, you're supposed to offer that to Krishna and take only. And anything which you get, actually, you have to you have to appreciate, or gratitude, attitude of gratitude. We have to have thankfulness, that attitude of gratitude, that Krishna is supplying me everything, whatever I have. And we have to offer it in devotion to Krishna and then accept it as prasad. So this is what is the concept. And if you do this, what is going to happen? You don't have any karma bandhana. You can keep on performing such action hundreds of years and hundreds of years. You're not bound, you're liberated. So there are two things. If I'm not bound, I'm said to be free. Now I'm free. But if somebody is tying me up, I'm said to be bound. So there are two things. I'm free, I'm bound. So bound is conditioned or binding, bondage, and liberation. Liberation means I'm free. So within this material universe, Jivan Mukta, a person can keep living a liberated life. Of course, that is not the highest constitutional position, back home, back to Godhead and all. But without bondage, one can live here. So that is what is the concept for today. Before going through the purport, I'll give you a short overview, and then when you go through, it is going to be very, very easy. So let us just see. Just a second. Okay. So a person who's living in this consciousness is not going to be bound. So first thing is, are we mortal or immortal? Mortal means death will come. Okay. So the question is, am I mortal or immortal? So Preeti, Rupini, go ahead. Am I mortal or immortal?
Mortal, ma'am.
Okay. So you say that we are mortal.
Uh,
Anybody is
body-
contradicting this?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
The body is mortal, whereas the soul is immortal, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Basically, we are immortal.
yeah. So Prabhupada earlier gave an example in introduction, man is mortal. So if you consider yourself as a man, woman, dog, cat, whatever, as your body, then you are mortal. The body has to undergo death. So when you consider yourself as a body, so Prabhupada says man is mortal. So man is mortal, soul is not. So we as a spirit soul who are living inside here, we never die.
You are not audible.
I am not audible.
You're
Yes,
audible.
you are audible, Mataji.
Audible only, Mataji.
Okay. Santosh Nitai Prabhu, check your mic, speaker.
Okay, Mataji.
Two people, Jivesh and Santosh Nitai, are having a good time together. Nutcuts. Okay. So, this is, he switched off his speaker and he's telling I'm not audible. Go to Jivesh, then you will know. Okay. So, this man, women, or whatever, when we take a body, anybody takes a body of anything, snake, reptiles, Jalaja, Navalakshani, Stafara, Lakshavimsati, there are complete list is given. Many living entities, and those who live in water, those who go on the earth, and there are trees and there are insects and like families of species. And in that 4 lakh 684 lakh species are that 4 lakh species are human varieties. 4 lakh, think, variety. So all of them are mortal because it's made up of matter. The matter has a beginning, an end. We already saw what is eternity. Eternity means ever living. Para prakriti, apara prakriti. So para means transcendental, it doesn't die. No birth, no death, no old age, no disease. That is para, that is transcendental, spiritual. As soon as spiritual world comes, anything in spiritual world, there is no beginning, there's no end. There's no disease, there's no old age. No birth, no death, no old age, no disease. There's no expiry date. But in material world, that is apara prakriti, material world, everything jada, everything has a beginning date, ending date. This is not manufactured. Expiry on. You buy any product. And similarly, when you buy a product or packet, there is an expiry date, manufacturing date. And how to use it. If you misuse it, then there's going to be disease. There's going to be problem with the product. Same with this body also, as a birth, death, old age, and disease. It goes towards expiry. As soon as it is born, immediately it will go towards deterioration. Time will start destroying, and it will go towards. That is the matter. But we are spirit soul, we don't die. But we entered into the matter. So what to do? So there are many species of life, and death is for sure when we are within this body. But then we have to do some work when we are in the body. So how we are undergoing birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. This is called karma bandhana. Just a second. So actually living entity is eternal. If you see a person a baby is born, then it is growing and old age and then death. And then again he is taking up another body. So there is a death and there is a birth. You can see this black person, that's like a death, and this lady is like new birth she's giving, and then again and again and again. So this cycle is called karma bandhana, the bondage due to work. So how the next body is determined? Somebody is there, somebody is living a life and is dying. So what determines the next life is what you did activity in this life. This Sanskrit word for activity is called karma. So this word karma has two meanings. So it goes through the many species of life. And even though eternal, what is that? The living entity is eternal, he is bound by the work. So based on the work, either he will be an insect, or he can be an animal, or he can be a bird, or he can be human being. Again, from human he can come to the animal species, or from animal species he can go back to human. Like this, there is a level. So everybody goes through this cycle of birth and death and birth and death and birth and death into various bodies among the 84 lakh species. And this is happening due to the karma bandhana. So what is binding that person into the body? The living entity is liberated. It doesn't have death. But it undergoes this temporary body of birth and death, birth and death, birth and death, is because of the activity which it does in this particular body. So what are all the various types of activity? So there is bad activity, there is good activity, and intelligent activity. So work. The karma, the word can be taken as work, but actually we have this term karma is used in two situations. The work itself is called karma, and sukarma or good karma is also called as karma. Okay, let us see why that is coined in that way. So karma, akarma, and vikarma are the three terms which we are going to see here. Karma means good work. Vikarma means bad work. V, always that V comes as negativity in Sanskrit. Then V is used to represent not negativity. If you know what is not, if you are from IT background, you know what is not. Not gate. Like this. So negative, opposite. So karma means good activity. Vikarma means bad activity, and akarma means intelligent work, means you will act but you will not yield the result. So action that are performed in terms of one's prescribed duty. So what is good karma? Good karma, good activity. Karma, the word is used, means action, just to take it as action. Karma phala means the result of action. Sometimes people say that is I am suffering due to my karma. Yes, due to your karma you are suffering. But that suffering is phala, or the fruit of your action. So the karma phala is different. Okay. Karma means the activity itself. So action that are performed in terms of one's prescribed duties as mentioned in the revealed scriptures. So we have scriptures which says, okay, you're Brahmana, you're Kshatriya, you're Vaishya, you're Shudra, your brahmachari, your vanaprastha, your grahastha. In this way, varnashrama system is there. And any action which you perform on the regulated basis on that is called karma. Okay, he's a good man. He acts according to the law. Like, for example, a citizen is living in the country and there's a law book. For example, you're going in the road and there's a traffic light. And before, you are supposed to get a license to drive a vehicle. That is law. And I drive the vehicle without license. That is transgressing the law. So the books are prescribed, the scriptures, revealed scriptures prescribe what activity to be done, what not to be done. This is to be a normal good citizen. To be a good citizen in this world, not connection with God or nothing. So Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, or Brahmachari, Vanaprastha, Grahastha, Sannyasi, like this are all prescribed in the scriptures. And based on that, you're properly conducting yourself. And first you got license, then you're going driving in the road. And there's a signal. Already you're supposed to write an exam to get the license, which gives you complete. But you just transgressed and you somehow gave money and you got the license. Then when there's a red light, you don't know, you have to stop and you're just going. Then either the police will stop you or Yama will come and stop you. There will be some accident or something because you're transgressing and you have to face the consequences. So this is called karma. Sometimes it's also called sukarma. Su means good karma. This is a good person. And second is, I'm in this, I have put it back and forth, so please forgive me. Go to the third one. Actions that are performed through the misuse of one's freedom means acting totally against scriptures, transgressing the law, like the robbers or thief or the law breakers in the society. We'll have many law breakers, no, who doesn't follow the law. They will handle black money. They will do this, and they will not follow the norms which are set by the government. Same way, Krishna is the government. Actually, we saw already spiritual communism. Then Krishna is the government, and he's giving Vedas, and he's telling how to live. And if somebody is transgressing that, he's said to be a vikarmi or vikarma. That action is called vikarma. It's bad, negative. So it's also in Sanskrit, this karma is called punya karma. Punya means pious activity, and this negative activity is called papa karma. What is the difference? Very simple. Punya karma leads to good result. Papa karma or vikarma leads to bad result. Like you're sowing a seed. If you sow some mango seed, that's a good seed. Nice. You're getting very nice mangoes, sweet mangoes. If you're sowing some poisonous seed, then you'll get poisonous fruit. Then you cannot ask why I am getting poisonous fruit, why I am suffering. You only sow that. You cultivated it. So if you have any suffering in your life, that is due to your action. Of course, Guru and Krishna can change it. That is different. That is later. We'll come to that. Krishna is also telling Sarva Dharma Aham Tam Sarva Pabepyo Mokshayisyami, Master. So Papa results in suffering. The Papa is nothing but vikarma. Punya is karma, sukarma, based on the scriptures. That will result in good lifestyle, good, not suffering, happiness. But it will be temporary. Both will be temporary. Because naturally we'll be performing some bad thing, some good thing. Like for example, I am very good, all good. Nobody can be all good. Nobody can be all good. How? I'm a good person. I'm helping everybody, and I'm following the norms of scriptures properly. Everything. I'm a very good person. But if I'm walking in the road, I stamp on some ants. And the ants die. You're a killer. There only vikarma happened. When you set fire, so many germs are dying. So a combination of karma and vikarma will happen, but consciously one will follow karma. Consciously one does bad activity is said to be a vikarmi. But if you see, there is intelligent work which will never bind us. That is what is said in the translation. So the translation talks about actions that free one from the cycle of birth and death is called akarma. So this both will bind. You have to take rebirth to yield the result. Some of the result, for example, we'll take an example of a tomato seed, methi seed. So if you're sowing a methi seed, within 1 week, 3 days, you start seeing the sprouting and everything. Within 1 week, you see the plant coming up, and within a month, you will yield the methi. You can just take the methi. And if you take mango, you sow it today, and when will you get the fruit? It has to take 5 years or 6 years. It will then yield. Depends on the variety. Sometime 10 years, sometime 3 years, 4 years. But not immediately within a month you won't get. If you take dhania, then you sow it today, then within a month or something, you will start getting the dhania seeds back or the fruits back. At least you'll see the plant immediately within a week or 10 days. So it depends on the intensity of the action, the karma, that and what action it is. It can either yield the result immediately or later. The later can be this life or next life or next to next life. It depends on what seed it is and how intensely it is performed. Based on that, the yielding. It's not that in this life you do work and next life you get the yield. Not like that. Not everything is like that. Sometimes we immediately get the yield. Sometime later. It depends on what seed it is, and it's too complicated to know. We are not interested in that also. Each of the karma, what it will happen, then your lifetime is not enough. Vedas describe everything. That is why Narada Muni said, no, you're deviating people from the main subject of Krishna. So please go back into Krishna and write Bhagavatam. We saw in the introduction that how Narada Muni advised Vyasati to write Bhagavatam, which is Vedanta Sutra. So Veda is too elaborate describing all these details. But in both cases, to yield the result, either it be sweet fruit or it be for next life or next to next life seeds are also sown. So you have to come back in another life to yield it. So take another birth of bird or animal mother, animal father, animal family. And then there is bird mother, bird father, and bird family. Then you die. Very seriously, you're thinking, this is my family, this is everything. And then again you die, and again you birth, again you die. Again. It's a comedy show. So if you want to get out of this comedy show and know all by myself, who am I exactly? What am I supposed to do? Then there are certain types of action. That what it'll do is, if you already have a bondage also, it'll break it. And you'll be a free person without bound by anything. In that way, you can continuously keep living for many, many years. And you're unbound. That's called Jivan Mukta. Such people, like for example, the difference between a regular normal people in the world and Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada is not bound. He's a liberated soul. But we are all in bondage. So Prabhupada is teaching us how to get out of these clutches. There's a big network, no? It's not that we are bound by only one rope. I'm showing like this doesn't mean that. So many action, reaction. So it's all behind us chasing. You remember, if all of you are devotees, you have to always remember where from I came. It's not that somebody begged you to take up Krishna consciousness. I took up Krishna consciousness with great broad-mindedness. No, you were in garbage. All of you, any of you think what background we come from, what is that janjat which was there, and how we are relieved from this. So we are getting liberated from this bondage of work. Already millions of lifetimes we have performed work, and that baggage is there, and we're carrying that baggage. And that gets broken by certain actions in this world. So both good work and bad work will bind you with some result. So intelligent people will perform work but will not get bound. So actions that free one from the cycle of birth and death are called akarma. So, and further, Prabhupada talks about, of course, he is talking a lot, but we'll go through the purport and we'll see that action, living a God-centered life, Prabhupada already mentioned in the previous purport that you have to offer everything and be very conscious that Krishna is the supreme proprietor. Living in that way, one can go on living without getting bound by the law of karma. So you won't have the baggage. You are a free person. You get like Narada Muni. Narada Muni is going here, Narada Muni is going there, like this. Many are there. Even Shivaji, but Shiva is the incarnation of the Supreme Lord. So we cannot just categorize him under one among us. But still, there are liberated people roaming around, many rishis and munis and all liberated people. They are not bound by anything. We may live in family life. It is not that we cannot live in family life. But even in family life, we have to offer everything and become a devotee. Then in that God-centered life, one can live liberated life, even in this material world. Inside material world, but liberated. So Prabhupada said, fish don't touch water. How? Fish can live only in water, but you won't touch water. This is a secret, Prabhupada said. So a God-centered life. So Prabhupada is mentioning, he's recommending a book called Nectar of Devotion, which is also, so how do I live a God-centered life? What should I do from morning till evening? Every day I need to perform, I need to eat, I need to sleep, I need to walk, I need to work. How am I going to live? A God-centered life. Should I always be thinking like this? If I live God-centered life, who will do? Some people, when we ask them to become a devotee, they say that, sorry, kaach korche. In Bengali today also one driver, he said that, I'm not wearing kantimala and becoming devotee because I'm driver, so I'm working. So here we are talking about a work, action or work, which is very intelligent. Later in Bhagavad Gita also this will be spoken as Buddhi Yoga. Very intelligent work. A very, very intelligent work. Will be very busy the whole day. A devotee will be more busy than anybody else. He'll be full day busy, but it will not bind him. So that the details of how to do that is in nectar of devotion. You cannot concoct, okay, I will live like that. I will think of Krishna and I will do everything. This is all concoction. No, acharyas have to say what it is, how it is. It's a science. Prabhupada always says Krishna consciousness is science. So let us learn that science, the art of living in this world without getting bound. Okay, let us go to the purport and we'll read as much as possible today and we'll continue tomorrow. But tomorrow again, you need to do little homework or reading rest of the paragraphs and then we can have some questions and discussions. Okay, so let us go here. Somebody can read the purport?
Should I start?
Yes.
Purport. No one wants to die. Everyone wants to live as long as he can drag on. This tendency is visible not only individually but also collectively in the community, society, and nation. There is a hard struggle for life by all kinds of living entities, and the Vedas say that this is quite natural. The living being is eternal by nature, but due to his bondage in material existence, he has no change his body. He has to change his body over and over. This process is called transmigration of the soul or karma bandhana, bondage by one's work. The living entity has to work for his livelihood because that is the law of material nature. And if he does not act according to his prescribed duties, he transgresses the law of nature and binds himself more and more to the cycle of birth and death in the many species of life.
Here very beautiful concept. This concept you see, anybody likes death? Nobody wants it. For example, you're walking in the road. Suddenly a bus is coming. Just in front of you, very near. What will you do immediately? You become alert? Or you'll stay there, okay, let me die. Let the bus come on me. No, without your knowledge, you run for your life. And even as a community, we see that, okay, don't eat inorganic food, don't eat this chemical food, and you eat organic because they're all striving, struggling to stay alive, to stay alive. Nobody wants death. Why? Second, whenever somebody says death, sometimes we say, mommy, I'll also die. Hey, don't tell like that. Please, please, don't tell. Anyway, we'll die. But they don't want to accept, even hear that word. Death. One time, my mother was not a devotee, but she was becoming newly devotee. That time she went to my brother's place, which was abroad, and then he went to ISKCON because we kept on telling go, go, go. Then she went to one class, and that whoever took the class, they spoke only about death. And she said, I went to ISKCON. I thought they'll tell some nice Krishna pastime, but they told only about death. They're talking only about death. Like this, she got scared. So I said, yes, death is true. First, we should prepare for the exam. Oh, I don't want to talk about the exam. Like this. So, but still, we are getting scared and we are getting uneasy. Why? When will you get scared? Then two things. Of course, when you're not prepared and all, that's small scary. But if I'm going to give you a job, you have to become CEO of Reliance. You'll immediately say no because you don't know the job. If you're put there, then you don't know what to do. You are going to be collector from tomorrow. You don't know what to do. You get scary. And when you're put inside the job which you don't know. So when anything unnatural we are doing, we feel uneasy and fearful. So why we are getting so scared about death and we are struggling to escape from death? Naturally, any animals, birds, everybody, if death comes, they'll just try to escape because it is not their nature to die. Naturally, they don't have death. We all doesn't have death naturally. What a good news here. I don't die. Nobody dies. We don't die. So death is a scary situation because unnatural. It is unnatural because I am eternal. I am eternal spirit soul. So when the death comes, it's very fearful because it's so unnatural. Whenever you're doing anything naturally, you don't have any complications. You are very comfortable. When you do anything unnatural, you have to put extra effort and the thing. Lot of complications happens within. Right? So that is the process Prabhupada is explaining here. Very nice concept. Very nice concept. That nobody wants to die because you generally don't die. You don't die at all. But the body brings death and birth and death and birth and death and birth. We are so uncomfortable with this. So that is what Prabhupada has mentioned. And this uneasiness is due to karma bandhana, the bondage due to work. So, okay, read, continue.
Other life forms are also subject to the cycle of birth and death. But when the living entity attains a human life, he gets a chance to get free from the chains of karma. Karma, akarma, and vikarma are very clearly described in the Bhagavad Gita, actions that are performed in the terms of one's prescribed duties, as mentioned in the revealed scriptures, are called karma. Actions that free one from the cycle of birth and death are called akarma, and actions that are performed through the misuse of one's freedom and that direct one to the lower life forms are called vikarma. Of these three types of action, that which frees from the bondage of karma is preferred by intelligent man. Ordinary men wish to perform good work in order to be recognized and achieve some higher status of life in this world or in heaven. But more advanced men want to be free altogether from the actions and reaction of work. Intelligent men well know, Mataji, I cannot read. Intelligent men well know that both good and bad work equally bind one to the material miseries. Consequently, they seek that work which will free from the reaction of both good and bad work. Such liberating work is described here in the pages of Sri Isopanisad. The instruction of Sri Isopanisad are more elaborately explained in the Bhagavad Gita, sometimes called the Gitopanishad, the cream of all the Upanishads. In the Bhagavad Gita 3.9 to 16, the personality of Godhead says that one cannot attain the state of Naisha Karmiya or Akarma without executing the prescribed duties mentioned in the Vedic literature. This literature can regulate the working energy of a human being in such a way that he can gradually realize the authority of the Supreme Being. When he realizes the authority of the personality of Godhead, Vasudeva or Krishna, it is to be understood that he has attained the stage of positive knowledge. In this purified stage, the modes of nature, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance, cannot act, and he is able to work on the basis of Naisha Karmaya. Such work does not bind one to the cycle of birth and death. Factually, no one has to do anything more than render devotional service to the Lord. However, in the lower stages of life, one cannot immediately adopt the activities of devotional service, nor can one completely stop fruitive work. A conditioned soul is accustomed to working for sense gratification, for his own self interest, immediate or extended. An ordinary man works for his own sense enjoyment, and when this principle of sense enjoyment is extended to include his society, nation, or humanity in general, it is assumed various activity names such as altruism, socialism, communism, nationalism, and humanitarianism. These isms are certainly very attractive forms of karma bandhana, karmic bondage. But the Vedic instruction of Sri Isopanisad is that if one actually wants to live for any of these above isms, he should make them God centered. There is no harm in becoming a family man or an altruist or a socialist, a communist, a nationalist, or a humanitarian, provided that one executes I cannot read, his activities in relation with Ishavasya, the God centered conception. In the Bhagavad Gita 2.40, Lord Krishna states that God centered activities are so valuable that just a few of them can save a person from the greatest danger. The greatest danger of life is the danger of gliding down again into the evolutionary cycle of birth and death among the 8 million 4 lakh species. If somehow or other a man misses the spiritual opportunity afforded by his human form of life and falls down again into the evolutionary cycle, he must be considered most unfortunate. Due to his defective senses, a foolish man cannot see that this is happening. Consequently, Sri Ishopanishad advises us to exert our energy in the spirit of Ishavasya. Being so engaged, we may wish to live for many, many years. Otherwise, a long life in itself has no value. A tree lives for hundreds and hundreds of years, but there is no point in living a long time like trees or breathing like bellows or begetting children like hogs and dogs or eating like camels. A humble God-centered life is more valuable than a colossal hoax of life dedicated to godless altruism or socialism. When altruistic activities are executed in the spirit of Sri Ishopanishad, they become a form of karma yoga. Such activities are recommended in the Bhagavad Gita 18.5 to 9. For they guarantee that executor protection from the danger of sliding down into the evolutionary process of birth and death. Even though such God centered activities may be half finished, they are still good for the executor because they will guarantee him a human form in the next birth. In this way, one can have another chance to improve his position on the path of liberation. How one can execute God centered activities is elaborately explained in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami. We have rendered this book into English as The Nectar of Devotion. We recommend this valuable book to all who are interested in performing their activities in the spirit of Sri Ishopanishad.
Thank you, Omrai Prabhu. So, Govindarai, thank you so much. So, here the ism is mentioned. So, what is this isms? Very simple. See, as soon as we take birth, we get one circle of people around us. Okay, mother, father, and immediate circle. Dealing with them itself creates a bondage, karma bandhana. And when you, this Prabhupada is explaining that what is selfishness? When you consider yourself as a body, when we do service for Krishna, it is selfless service. And when you consider yourself as a body and you want everything for you, all of us know what is selfishness, right? We think only about ourselves and improving ourselves and eating, sleeping, everything, convenience of ourselves is the primary aspect. This is considered selfishness. And Prabhupada says that when you do only for your family, me and my family, my circle, you clean your home, take the garbage and throw it in the neighbor's compound. Nice, no? So that is called extended selfishness. You are extending your selfishness to your immediate circle. And then you think, no, I am from Tamil Nadu. Only Tamil is great. And Karnataka is bad. Or some other. This is further extending. I belong to a particular sect. And that sectarianism, these isms start coming. First familyism comes, then sectarianism. My sector, my people. And supporting. And treating other person either as an enemy or a competitor. This is extended selfishness. And then I'm Indian. Deshabhakti. This Deshabhakti, good or bad? Prabhupada is telling that is called, what generally will tell, people will really go and scold me if I tell this, is Deshabhakti, national. Is this bad or good?
No, it is good, because if country is there, so we can do bhakti. If there is no country, we cannot.
Why? The whole world can be one country.
That is
Only in your
the
country you will do, huh?
no.
And we
I
are
don't.
International Society for Krishna Consciousness. We are not Indian Society for Krishna Consciousness. This is International Society.
The country which
We
supports
accept even animals and birds.
the country which supports the religion,
Uh,
and
every country supports. In Arabia, they support Muslim religion. They support this beautiful Mecca, Medina. People offer obeisances so nicely to the Lord there. They offer 5 times obeisances to the Lord.
what if India is governed by Congress party, Rahul Gandhi? Then it will be doomed.
Hiranyakashipu was ruling. Prahalad was still a devotee. And I think we are not living in such a bad state like Hiranyakashipu kingdom, where people are stopping you from chanting. Nobody stop you from chanting except your own mind. So considering yourself as a body or a national is considered foolishness, ajnana, bodily concept.
Okay.
So Prabhupada is mentioning this word extended selfishness. Why? 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 Okay, what is wrong in having Deshabhakti? That means you're considering, just because you're born in India, you support India. And you support the religion of India. And if you're born in some China, you'll say dragon god, dragon god. And then you want to support that. If you're born in Pakistan, then you'll say that my country, the religion, it supports religion. We are doing namaz. It's a good country. The India is not a good country. It's a bad country. If you're born there, you will support there. That means your body is temporary. You're born on a particular date, you'll die on a particular date. And just because you're born in a particular circle, you support that circle, that is not it. You're opposing the others naturally. But you're not seeing everybody Pandita Samadarshina. Narada Muni sees everybody. Narada Muni will go to Indra's house also. Narada Muni will enter Hiranyakashipu's house also. Narada Muni will enter Ravana's house also. He will go to Kamsa and he will talk. Okay, your sister like this, like this. He is talking. We can see every place Narada Muni is going. Why? Because he's a devotee. A devotee is not discriminatory. A devotee doesn't discriminate. And he doesn't identify himself with a particular group. So Prabhupada is telling, I am man, I am woman, I am dog, I am cat. In this way you're thinking, in the temporary body which you're taking. So not as a spirit soul. I'm not the body, I'm spirit soul, I'm servant of Krishna. There are many living entities, many spirit soul. When you look at the world, you should look at that there are many spirit soul in the form of tree, in the form of plant, in the form of animal, in the form of insects, in the form of your neighbors, friends, in the form of American, in the form of Chinese, in the form of African, in China, in Pakistan, everywhere they are living entities who are all part and parcel of Krishna. And Krishna is living as Paramatma in their heart without discrimination. Krishna is not discriminating. You think in Pakistani's heart, Paramatma is not there? Only in Indian's heart, Paramatma is there. Wow, I didn't know this. So, that Prabhupada is calling nationalism. Ism is bodily concept and considering yourself as part of a particular group. And you want welfare of that group and you don't want welfare of others. So Sakala Samana, there's no equal vision in this concept. So that is what ism, ulteriorism, communism. We support communism. I oppose that. And ism. I have only one ism, Krishnism. I love Krishna. Everybody is a servant of Krishna. Everybody should love Krishna. If they don't love, that is their loss. You identify yourself only a servant of Krishna and nothing else. What is your ID card? I'm Indian. I'm American. No, then you'll start hating somebody, you'll start liking. So what is your ID card? ID card is I'm servant of Krishna. I'm not the body, I'm spirit soul, I'm servant of Krishna. I'm servant of Krishna. Ami Krishna Das. I'm Govinda Das. That's all. This is your identity. When you identify yourself with a particular clan, then you will have some friends and some enemies. But a devotee will never have an enemy like Narada Muni. When we are chanting Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So the Gaura Bhakta Vrinda is leader is Srivas. So who is Srivas? He is nobody but Narada Muni. He is also one of the Acharya in our Acharya Parampara, primary Acharya after Brahma, who spread the Krishna consciousness. Brahma instructed Narada Muni to spread the Krishna consciousness. Preaching started from Narada Muni. So Brahma spoke some of his Muni and Rishi disciples and then primarily to Narada Muni. And then that parampara is only Gandhari. So Narada is impartial. So we also are impartial. So we should never identify, just because I'm born in a particular family, I support my family and I oppose others. And just because I'm born in a particular language, I support my language, all other language are Gandha. You support your nation is one thing. Naturally, you will oppose other. This will come as a background process coming. It's a poisonous thing. Supporting is not wrong, but that supporting a particular group, this is called groupism. So ism, this groupism, communism, altruism, capitalism, nationalism, this isms Prabhupada is opposing in this purport. So we'll have some discussions and questions which I will put forth, and we can have a discussion on this purport also. Like we had a very, very nice discussion on first. I think this will be a little more hotter, as I see. So I'll put some controversial questions so that we'll have some hot discussions going on, like a debate or something. Let me think about it. So you'll have tomorrow morning, before tomorrow morning, 8 or 9, you'll have your questions which you can think about. Just have a thought about it and try to go through this purport. It's small purport by 5-6 paragraphs. And tomorrow we'll have a group discussion on this. Okay. Is there any questions or comments? There are some portions of this purport are still hidden, which I would like to explain to you tomorrow. We'll see that. A group discussion with a little explanation will be there. Okay. Any questions or comments? I'll check if I can add some points in today's plan. So, an ordinary man works for his own sense enjoyment. And when this principle of sense enjoyment is extended, so sense enjoyment extension is society, nation, or humanity. So if you say all humans I support, that means animals you are opposing. All humans survey Sukhino Bhavantu, survey Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. So all Jana will be Sukhina and all animals will be in your biryani. Yeah? All human beings. So I want to just share with you some things which I come across. I used to take classes regularly in one community hall, and then one time one man came and he came new and he was very enthusiastic and he said, see, you in ISKCON you're telling, I want to ask one question to you. Today when I was going in the road, one man was chasing another man with a what do you say, sword? What do you say, axe? And then he beat it, he cut him, and he killed him on the spot in the road. That is the talk of the day. You're talking about Krishna and Bhagavad Gita and everything. Now you answer me, what is your opinion on this? A human being is killed right in front of my eyes, in the road. What is your opinion? Then I said, when I was coming to this class on the road, I saw many people were ripped off their skin and they were made to hang there. Many of them, 7, 8 of them were hanging. Then that man got shocked. What is your take on that? I don't know, this happened. People killed somebody and they ripped off the skin and they are hanging there. Yes. You don't have any words. Who will ask question? Who will stop this? Then he said, I didn't know this. It didn't come in the newspaper. I didn't know. One man was just killed in the road that 2-3 days. Everybody is talking this only today or something. It happened. Then I said, like this, every day I'm seeing many people are killed. They are citizens of India. The Indian. They are all killed, citizen of the world. Then he asked, I didn't know this. I said, yes. That is the butcher shop. There's a chicken shop. All the chicken are hanging without the skin. They are selling the meat and the goat. There are 4 or 5 goats are hanging there without the skin. Who will give protection? You don't feel guilty? You talk about a man, because I'm a human being. The human variety species has to be very strong and they should not be killed and they should be saved. And what about the goat? It should be in your biryani. Huh? I love my dog. I love animals. I'm a lover of animals. Oh, so cute. This Pomeranian dog is so cute. And what is in your table? In the table, there is chicken and mutton is in the table. So we don't become partial. All living entities. All living entities. That's it. Are part and parcel of Krishna. We are soul people. We are spiritual people. Spiritualism. And more than that is Krishnaism. Because in spiritual also there is yogi, jnani, everybody is coming. We'll have a detailed discussion on that later. But still, so this broad-mindedness is not identifying ourselves with a particular group gives us magnanimity. We become magnanimous person, accommodative to everybody. So this, when we understand we are not this body and belong to a particular group, then, so here Prabhupada is mentioning an ordinary man works for his own sense enjoyment, the selfishness. And when this principle of sense enjoyment is extended, it's called extended sense enjoyment, society, nation, humanity, in general, it assumes various attractive names such as altruism, socialism, communism, nationalism, humanitarianism. These isms are certainly very attractive forms of karma bandhana. So when you say nation, my nation, my nation. So one more example I can quote on this is Gandhi. Everybody's telling Mahatma Gandhi, but Prabhupada doesn't say. Because Mahatma, there's a word is Mahatma Nastumam Pata Daivin Prakriti Mashrita. So definition of Mahatma is given in Bhagavad Gita. So we don't misuse that term to anybody and everybody. So, but Gandhi, if you see, many people followed Gandhi. And everybody, how they died? Bharat Mata ki jai, Bharat Mata ki jai, they died. And they are born again in Bharat Mata because they identified themselves in Bharat. I'm Indian, I'm Indian. But when he died, what did he say? Hey Ram. Why not all the people say Hey Ram? Why only he said? Very good, no? He's a national father of the nation. The father of the nation said Hey Ram and died. But all the children of the nation, beta of the nation, died Bharat Mata ki jai. Right? So this karma bandhana, what do you think yam vapi smaran bhavam tyachatyante kalevaram? What you think, what you act, what your consciousness is absorbed, and you get a rebirth, good or bad activity, you get rebirth. So Prabhupada comes and relieves everybody from Prabhupada kind of acharyas, we come and relieve everybody from the karma bandhana. So break open. So we are going to break open. We are just starting. It's a good thing. So it's like a family. So in group discussion and all, feel free. Don't think that I'll tell something wrong. I already know. If you already know why you're in Bhakti Shastri, get out. I don't have anything to teach with you because you already know. So when you're a student, you should be open, like an open book. Some point will tell like this, some point, and it may contradict new things we are learning, right? Spiritual is totally new to this world. Prabhupada is the only person who's giving properly. Nobody else. Prabhupada and further his disciples. Otherwise, you cannot find this is new information. So how we are expected to tell all correct answers? So don't think like that. Be feel free and throw your ego in the dustbin and just come like a child and just learn. Then you will become very, very good preachers, and not only just preachers, amazing devotees whom Guru and Krishna and Acharya Parampara will love. So be very nicely participating in the discussions. Genuinely, whatever you feel, you can tell. There is no problem. Is that okay? And don't feel shy to ask questions, this, that, and all that. Just ask. So what? So what? You asked the wrong question. And if I said, if I oppose your question, answer, no, your point, what is wrong? You tell what I'm telling, you listen, and if it's logically convincing, you accept. If it's not logically convincing, ask further questions.
Mataji,
Ask further questions. Yes.
I mean, I have to ask this question, but I was feeling that, but this Isopanisad book is explaining about the Krishna, the qualities of Lord, and the Mahatma of the Lord Krishna. So why it is the Chaturbhuj Vishnu here and the book of the cover page of the Isopanishad with Sheshank, Chaturbhuj, Lotus Gada, and Shankonch. So I was thinking like that. I asked the question to my mother, but so I asked you.
Very nice question, but I have an answer, but I don't know whether the designer thought about it like that or not. I don't know. It's a designer and the BBT, they decide on what cover to put on. So they decided, but for a long time it's there and it's so beautiful, Vishnu. So I thought maybe this is the reason. This is my personal understanding. I really love the picture. Oh my God. I was admiring from first time when I got this book many years back. I was kept on looking at that form. Very beautiful form of the Lord. And it was really stunning. Stunning. See, it's really stunning. I love this. I started loving Vishnu only when I saw that. Before that, I was not very thinking. So this beautiful form, I think it may be due to this because this is Upanishad. Upanishads never talk about Krishna. You take complete Ishopanishad, you will never find the word Krishna, name Krishna, from beginning till ending. Om Purnamada Purnamida Purnat Purnamudichyate Purnasya Purnamalaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Isha Vashyam Idam Sarvam Isha. The word Isha is used, not Krishna. So, according to Vedas, Vishnu only was exposed. Supreme Lord is not so easily exposed to everybody. Now, by Lord Chaitanya's mercy, we are coming to know Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even otherwise, commonly, generally, when people say, when common general people you ask, they say Krishna is one of the avatars. Or they say that there are many gods and Krishna is one among them. And first of all, they didn't know Krishna before Dwapara Yuga. They know only Vishnu. So Vedas maximum speak only about Vishnu. So Upanishad is part of Veda. So it never talks, even very rare names, Govinda, Krishna, these words, Isha, Paramatma, Vishnu, these names only, Hari, these names only are there. Primary names of, so there are two names of Krishna, primary names and secondary names. But Vedas always describe Krishna with a secondary name. Primary names talks about his pastimes, name, form, qualities, and pastimes. Sometimes, if you see Vishnu, Padmanabha, from his navel, a flower is coming, Brahma is born. So Padmanabha is mentioned, but it won't be some Padmaksha, very rare, secondary, but it will be mentioned very rarely. But Paramatma, Vishnu, these names will be mentioned many times. So indirectly talks about Krishna, not directly. Maximum knowledge people had about Supreme God is only Vishnu. And Krishna came in Dwapara Yuga, still Avajananti Mam Muda Manushim. Some people like Duryodhana thought he's a Manushya. And some rishis and some of them thought that he's incarnation of Vishnu. And only when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he firmly established Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. From Madhavendra Puri onwards only. So Vedas talk only about Vishnu. So if you take complete Ishopanishad, it doesn't talk about Krishna. It talks the word Purnam. Om Purnam. That Om Purnam is Supreme Absolute Truth. That word Om. That word Om meaning is there in many places that indirectly mentioned in Bhagavad Gita itself. In Bhagavad Gita, the Om meaning is there. You ask your mom. She'll tell. She's expert. Ask her. So there's a word, a meaning Om. Om is nothing but is the indirect name of Krishna. But
Yeah,
indirectly only is mentioned only indirectly in Vedas. So maximum knowledge about Supreme Lord is only Vishnu, till Mahavishnu, and that's all. No more than that. The sweet Leelas of Vrindavan, these are all not known before. Brahma wrote Brahma Samhita, and it was in some temple, and nobody knew it. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found it in South India. The temple is still there, Adikeshwar temple. Later, sometimes we can go in South India. So that temple in a library, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found it, and he took a copy. They didn't allow them to take the book, so he took a copy and came for the Bengali devotees' pleasure. The Brahma is telling Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. And Chintamani Pragarasat Mashukalpa Vriksha Shyama Sundara Shyamam Tribanga Lalitam Niyata Prakasham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. This is a proof that Brahma is telling. So these kind of scriptures are very rare and they are kind of hidden. And Vedas directly, if you see, they don't talk directly about Krishna at all and his pastimes. They don't talk. That is why Vyasadeva had to write Bhagavad. He has to write Bhagavatam. So Upanishad doesn't talk directly as Krishna. Very, very rare. So this Kalisandarna Upanishad is considered very great is because there is the mantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare for Kali Yuga. So word Krishna is coming. Very special. That is why Prabhupada never translated other Upanishads. Even this Upanishad is talking indirectly only. Bhagavad Gita is a portion of Mahabharata, which is a Purana. That portion we'll see in Mahabharata, we'll see Krishna, but not elaborately. So many other matters. So Prabhupada, in one of the purport, two or three purports he's writing. One purport prominently is writing in Bhagavatam before third canto. That devotee will not be interested in Mahabharata. Because it's fully not talking about Krishna, it's talking about politics, emotions, and give and take. Somebody, like it's very complicated family political issue of a royal family. So people will not, that is not interest for the devotee. Devotees are interested in Krishna and his devotees. And that portion where devotees are involved, that they are interested. So only that portion is highlighted in Bhagavatam by Vyasadeva. So Vyasadeva, what he took from Mahabharata and everywhere where prominent about Krishna, that is described in Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam also 10th canto only talks about Krishna. Before that 7th canto Narsimhadev, 3rd canto Kapiladev. So in this way, each of the incarnation gradually and 10th canto Krishna is coming. And you know who's coming in 11th canto? Something further, no? Is Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki Jai.
Jai, yes.
Lord Chaitanya is coming in 11th canto. 10th canto is considered like a face and 11th canto is the crown jewel of the Supreme Lord is Lord Chaitanya, incarnation of Lord Chaitanya. Okay, is that okay?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, any other questions or comments? We are hitting 10:30. Akshaya, yes, Akshaya.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, so Krishna, so you said that after Dwapara Yuga only they got to know Krishna. So before that, in Satyuga and Treta Yuga, no one worshipped Krishna. Mataji?
Very good. Like from Dwapara Yuga, Krishna's incarnation came. So he was widely known. Before that, only in Acharya Parampara, Guru will whisper in the ear of the disciple some Krishna mantra, and the disciple further will become Guru and he will whisper in the ears. Not openly Hare Krishna mantra we are singing in the street now. That was not happening. Even before Lord Chaitanya was born, Krishna, they say that, no. You should not tell Krishna's name or Hari's name. You should be very pure to tell that. Only when you're taking bath in Ganga, you can chant Hari, Hari, Krishna, Krishna. These names you cannot chant. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born, he was born purposely on eclipse day. We know, no? This Grahana, we say Chandra Grahana, Surya Grahana. lunar eclipse. So on lunar eclipse day, because it's dosha, everybody takes bath in river, Ganga, Yamuna, whatever river nearby. So in Mayapur, everybody took bath in Ganga. So that time, because they were sitting in Ganga, they were all chanting Krishna, Krishna, Govinda. Like this, they were chanting. That time, Krishna, he made everybody chant, and then only Lord Chaitanya born appeared. And Lord Chaitanya is the one to start the Sankirtan movement and to introduce Krishna as the Supreme Lord. That is why Krishna Prema Pradayate. He is the one who gives you Krishna, and he also gives you Krishna Prem. Who is donating this to you? Gaurnitai. Only Gauranga, Nityananda, and Acharya Parampara. Before that, only mostly Vishnu is known through Yajna. He was satisfied through Yajna, then through Dhyana, Paramatma, in the form of four-handed Narayana form, Vishnu form. They meditate that Paramatma form. Or they do Yajna to please Vishnu, and Vishnu will appear and he'll accept everything. Nice yajnas are performed. That you can read in Bhagavatam, then you will come to know. Yes, before that, Krishna was not widely known. He was in the scriptures. Krishna in Varaha Purana, in Skanda Purana, everywhere Krishna is mentioned as Supreme Personality of Godhead. But it was very secretly transmitted only through Acharya Parampara, through Guru and disciple, Guru and disciple. Every Guru had very limited disciples. But nowadays, you see, we are all common people, we are discussing about Krishna. This is possible only after Lord Chaitanya. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead from very beginning. But he is not revealed so easily. That is why we are lucky. We are taking in the discount offer. We are in the Guru Maharaj always say that we have got this offer. We have to loot this. They say no, loot offer. This is an offer where we have to loot it. Because big rishis and munis didn't know Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. And just full life on Rishi will research. He'll say, I am not the body, I am spirit soul. Wow, he'll find it out. And in the first lesson, when somebody enters ISKCON, Krishna Consciousness Prabhupada book they take and come into any class, the first lesson they learn is you are not the body, you are spirit soul. But some Rishi in Himalayas, he worked the entire life to know this. So we are in this great movement of Lord Chaitanya, where very secret things are openly discussed. So we are doing it. Is that okay, Akshaya?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay, if you have further, if you thought about it and if you have any questions relevant to this, then put it in the group and then we can take it up. Or you can ping me privately if you want. But if I find the answer and question are useful, without sharing your name, I can share it in the group. Okay, thank you very much. Any more questions or comments? Okay. Manchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva
Vacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai,
Jai.
Guru Maharaj ki Jai, Nitai
Jai.
Gaura Premanande.
Hari Bol.
Tomorrow be ready for the discussion. I'll put the questions for this puppet. Thank you. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.